Hi everyone, I'm Lekoloka and I'm your co-supervisor here on TikTok, and in today's video I'll be showing you how to write a strong research problem or a problem statement. Right, so I made a formula for you all. So this is the formula that you can follow to write a strong research problem, and let's see what our formula has to say. Our formula says if ideal it's not equals to reality, then we have a research problem. And this formula is applicable in three ways, right? It's either you will now write your research problem or problem statement in three paragraphs. If you write it in three paragraphs, this is how you're gonna, put it like. The first paragraph will be the ideal, the second paragraph will be the reality, and the third paragraph will be the research problem. Or you can resort to writing it in two paragraphs, meaning that paragraph number 1 will be ideal plus reality, paragraph number 2 will be the research problem. Or you can resort to just writing it in one paragraph, meaning that all of these points will be on just one paragraph. But now let me show you how to really write a problem statement or a research problem. So this is how you're going to write it. Let me give an example. Say for example, you're assessing comprehension, right, of grade 12 learners. So in an ideal world, ideal tells us in a perfect world, right, we will have all grade 12 learners being able to comprehend what they are reading, right? But sometimes the world that we live in is not perfect. We have what we call reality. Now the reality that we have in South Africa is that by the age of 8, we have 80% of grade 3 learners not being able to read for meaning or not being able to comprehend what they are reading. So now that is the reality, which tells us that in the ideal world, a grade 3 learner should be able to read for comprehension. But our reality is not the same as our ideal, meaning that our research equation is what is true, meaning that the ideal is not equals to what? The reality. Therefore, we have the research problem. So now let me give you an example on how you will approach this when you're writing a research. So let's go with the example that I've given you, right? We said your topic is assessing grade 12 learners' comprehension skills, right? So in the ideal world, meaning that your first paragraph, you first state in the ideal world, right? Maybe you will say something like, theories, they state that if by the age of 8 a learner is able to comprehend, that will be good for his educational foundation, because that student will develop critical thinking, they will be able to have resilience even when they go to other grades and whatnot. That is ideally, that is the perfect world. So your paragraph will be based on what is right or what should be the case, right? And then your paragraph number 2 will be the reality. That is when you will say, however, in South Africa, we have a case where now we have 80% of grade 3 learners not being able to read for meaning. That creates a what? That creates a problem, because these learners continue to go to other grades not being able to read for meaning, right? Meaning that we have a lot of learners who are progressing through grades not being able to have critical thinking, creativity, even, communication skills, right? And that might impact their grades and whatnot. So that is the reality that you are talking about, or the reality that we live in South Africa. Now let's go to your problem. How will you then state your problem? So now, because you told us about the ideal world and you told us about the reality that we live in, now the research problem, because you are assessing grade 12 learners, now you will tell us that, most research has been focused on grade 3 learners, right? However, there's little research that has been done on grade 12 learners. And this group of learners is particularly very important because they are preparing to go to tertiary school, where they will be learning, where there will be a whole lot of transition, and where they will not be having teachers that will, teach them with diligence, because in tertiary there's a lot of facilitation and there's a lot of adaptation, and the workload there will have now increased. You see, so that is how you are going to approach writing your research problem or problem statement. First, you tell us the ideal, then you tell us the reality, and then you tell us the problem that you are trying to solve, which is the gap.